What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is EvHabs, and we're playing Minecraft, but it's not just any Minecraft. It is Snapshot 13W36A for Minecraft 1.7. Now, we're in 1.6.2 normally, and we've been waiting for this for a while, even though 1.6 basically just came out. And as you can see, it's a forest in front of me. But the first thing we're going to do, the first thing I'm going to show you, so we can fly over here. I'm just going to fall and just watch the ground. Boosh! You see that splash of dirt that went out? That happens now when you fall from a certain distance, say all the way up here at the top of this tower that I made, and you can all just drop down, and then boosh, it'll make a splash. And now the smallest one comes from being 4 blocks above. So 3 blocks with a jump, 4 blocks if you're just going to fall, and it's a tiny little splash. And you go up higher over here, and it's a bigger splash, etc., etc. That's just a small change. I just wanted to get that out of the way. By the way, the snapshot doesn't actually come with a changelog on the Mojang site, so you're going to have to figure out everything yourself like I did, or you can probably go look up it on a forum somewhere. I think there's a smaller changelog about commands and stuff on Reddit, but most of the stuff that I'm going to show you I found out by myself. I explored. It took me a while, but I found it. So we're going to start with the new features and the new features that are on this island right below me, other than the big splash that I just made. As you can see, and as you probably already saw, there are tons of new plants here. Look at all the different flowers we have. I'm going to get rid of this real quick. So many new flowers. Now you see, this kind of looks like the rose, but it's not a rose, it's a poppy. And the poppy is also obviously a red flower, so it gives you red dye if you put it in your crafting window. All the flowers that you see here do give you dyes, different kind of dyes, and even if it's rose red, it still comes from a poppy, whatever, same thing. But here you have the blue orchid, which gives you the light blue dye. You have, let's start over here. Why not? I don't give a crap. The allium, which gives you, I believe, a magenta dye. The azure bluette, which gives you a light gray dye. Red tulip obviously gives you red dye. Orange tulip gives you orange. Surprise, surprise. White tulip does not give you bone meal because that would, kind of doesn't make sense. So it gives you light gray as well. The pink tulip gives you pink, obviously. The ox daisy also gives you light gray dye. Over here we have the lilac, which gives you magenta. Sunflower, which gives you dandelion yellow. And the peony, which gives you pink. And obviously there's a rose bush. The roses are back, but they're in form of bush. And they give you obviously rose red. Now, let's get rid of all these flowers. You may be asking why there are these 2 tall plants here. Well, the first one looks like grass, and that's exactly what it is. It's double tall grass. So instead of just 1 high, it gets 2 high. And this is the large fern, which is like basically a double fern. And something that I found out, I haven't tried this yet, so let's see if it works. If I grab fern, and I grab regular tall grass, and I'm going to turn the weather off, because this is annoying. And then I go and I grab, down here, some bone meal. I've actually tested that. Well, it works. You get the large fern and grass, you get the tall, there you go. And also, I believe something happens if you bone meal these plants. There you go. You actually get the thing back, and you can plant a new one. So you can farm these, which is good. You can just do that. And also, if you break them, you get the thing back, except for the grass and the double tall grass and the large fern, because that's how you're going to need shears, like you usually do to get those. So, and the flowers, just punch them. So those are the new plants. Now, a little change to the decoration tab you can see is a new symbol. But also, the flower is no longer flower, it's a dandelion. I'm going to get more specific here. That's good. I've been waiting for that for a while because it's just been called flower, generic flower, the whole time. So those are the new plant changes, which are really cool. Now, let's go, and let's go to the blocks. There is 1 new block, 2 new blocks, sorry. But they're both kind of similar to blocks we already have, so it's not really that much of a change. Now you can see here, this is ice, this is regular ice, slippery ice, obviously. This is also a form of ice, but it is a little different. Now, usually, if I placed a torch right near some ice, let's see if this happens anytime soon. grab the different ice. Boom. Boom. Just wait. It'll happen eventually, I think. Let's put some more torches. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Anyway, you get the picture. Normally, ice would melt if it's next to a torch. I don't know why these aren't. Maybe it's because we're in a certain biome? Or in a beach biome. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is that a normal ice block would melt if a torch was too near to it. The packed ice, however, you saw when I middle-clicked it, it does not melt. So you can actually, have torches next to this ice and it won't melt like normal ice does. This is super ice here apparently, and it doesn't want to melt. But that is how that works. I have tested it out and it works perfectly fine. Now the next block is right up the top next to the dirt. It's podzol. And this is an interesting block. It's kind of like mycelium. It will spread to other dirt blocks that don't have already grass or mycelium on it. And I believe that it will show up in a new type of biome, and we'll get to that later. But that's what this is, just basically dirt. Now let's move on to fish. Now, a lot of people probably don't bother too much with fishing because you can get food otherwise, like melons. You can farm stuff, you can kill animals to get food. But now fishing has a little bit more to it. Not only can you get different kinds of fish, but you can get objects as well, like trash-like objects, like boots and stuff from fishing. Now, I have tried fishing quite a while, and it does seem to take even longer than it used to before to reel it in, but it will be a lot more beneficial now than it was before. So hopefully we'll start getting more people to fish. Now, to get to the fish here, it's in the food bar, obviously. You got the regular raw fish, but then you got raw salmon, which I believe I haven't tested this out yet, but they're probably found in rivers, though I won't, don't bet on that. Pufferfish and clownfish are in the ocean, obviously, and then you can cook your fish, and you can also cook your salmon. So everybody knows the food of fish, raw fish, is half a hunger bar, and cooked fish is 2.5. Salmon is exactly the same, and the clownfish, I believe, is the same as the raw fish. But the pufferfish is something that's a little bit different. Now, as you can see, I have my food down, and I'm going to eat this pufferfish. And this is why you don't eat a pufferfish. Yeah, not a good idea, is it? So, not only does it not give you any food, it actually makes you, well, I guess it gives you half a food thing, but then obviously it makes you hungry instantly, gives you nausea, and gives you poison for a good minute. So don't eat pufferfish. Alright, I'm going to eat my cooked fish here because I'm going to die, and my cooked salmon. But I'm still going to be poisoned, obviously. I'm going to go back in creative mode so I don't die. So you might ask, if pufferfish is this bad, why do you have it? Because now pufferfish is a potion ingredient to brew the potion of water breathing, which is really fun. I'm going to actually go back into creative. I'm going to get some milk first. God damn, the rain's back. And drink some milk, get rid of the poison. That's good. And then I'm going to go into survival again and drink my potion of water breathing. And you can see there it is. 3 minutes. I'm going with water. If I can go find... There we go. And my breath meter does not go down because I am underwater breathing. So that is what the blowfish is, the pufferfish, sorry, is for, is to make that potion. And it's really useful. No longer do you have to worry about enchanting your helmet for the whatever enchantment is called. Jesus Christ, I'm doing okay. Anyway, let me go check real quick. It's Aqua Affinity is not the same thing. Respiration, that's what it was. Alright, so that's what the pufferfish is for. Now, we're going to go into the more mechanical kind of things. So you already saw this, the splash you made when you land. Boom. Fishing we went over, the water breathing moves. Now, there are a few color changes. To me, I think the I don't know why. It might just be because I haven't played Minecraft in a while, but the water seems bluer to me. Another big thing that I thought looked a little bit different. If I can find it's not in here. There it is. Just sugarcane. To me, it looks greener. And you might see what I mean by this. It kind of looks a little bit more lime greenish instead of its usual like lighter green. It's a little bit darker now. I think it looks pretty cool, but you know, it's your own opinion. Now, one thing I really liked in this, and I discovered it by exploring everything, is that jungles, around jungles, I should say, I haven't seen it in any other biome, so I'm assuming that's where it is, melons can now spawn in little patches like pumpkins do still. And that way you won't have to go find a dungeon or find a mine shaft to actually get melon seeds. You can actually find them in the wild now, which I am happy about. And let's move on to commands real quick. There are a few, there's one new command and one change in a command. The one confirmed, anyway. The one new command is the summon command, and you can actually summon like mobs, not just at certain coordinates, but with certain attributes. You can actually give them items, you can name them, I'm assuming. You can do all the stuff. So this is going to be a really good command for those who wish to make adventure maps. Now the next new command, well, it's not a new command, it's a change in the command. The give command, you can now spawn in an item with a name and with lore, and that's going to also help incredibly with adventure map makers. So you stand on a command block and it just gives you the sword Excalibur, say, with the lore that King Arthur pulled out of the stone, yada yada yada. So once again, this is another great change for map makers out there. Okay, now one cool thing I'm going to get out of here for now is there is a new world type. Now if I do this world here, it's creative mode, obviously, it's just to show you off, but it is a different world type. You usually have, you know, you have the normal, default, super flat, and this is a new world type called amplified. Now it looks like right around me there's tons of new biomes. It looks amazing, but actually this whole thing is just a forest biome in the new world type amplified, and it's crazy. It really is. It is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. You can see there's a swamp down below, but this is just a regular forest biome. It's just weird, I guess is the way to put it. It's just like the land generation and spawning and everything. You can see a rose bush and a dandelion. It's just all over the place, and there is a warning that you do need a fairly decent computer to keep running this well every time you want to play and to spawn in the new stuff. So that is really interesting, I thought. So let's go back into the snapshot world real quick, into the regular non-amplified world. This is the default. So that is all the features and mechanics that I have confirmed here and everything about that I've found. I did look a little bit online, though I know a lot of people had stuff in changelogs that weren't confirmed. They were just news and guesstimates. So I'm not going to include this on here. But I think what you came for today was not the flowers, although they are pretty. Now, the snapshot, Dinnerbone did tweet that there wasn't going to be any of the terrain changes in this snapshot, and I got really disappointed because everybody knows of the news that there was going to be new biomes, and I got really disappointed because I really wanted to see these new biomes in action, but you know, what can you do? You can't change developer speed and things. They got to take their time with stuff. There's a lot of new code just in this stuff. So I was ready to be disappointed, but however, he tweeted a little bit after he uploaded the snapshot that they may have changed their minds about not adding the terrain changes to this one. And so I got excited and I explored and I found several new biomes that are in this one. So hope you guys are ready to hear about them. Now, before I get into the new biomes, I'm going to quick go over a few of the new terrain changes. Now, snow used to be in only certain biomes, like automatically snowed, such as the taiga biome and the ice plains and ice hills, and etc., etc. Now snow actually spawns, in quotation marks, it might fall, it might just spawn, on land that is above a certain height, depending on the biome temperature. Now, if you look at this, it doesn't really give you a temperature. so you're not really sure. You can't be really sure what the temperature is. However, there are ways to find out, like online and such. So if you're thinking about going and living in an extreme hills biome and you want to live at the top of a mountain, you're probably going to get snow up there. A lot of, especially the extreme hills biome, is covered with snow at the top. I believe in those biomes it's like 95 to 100 where the snow starts. And then if you have a biome, say a desert, you're going to need to go quite a lot higher to get snow because it's a lot, obviously, hotter in the desert. So you're going to have to go really high to get snow in the desert, but not as high if you say in a taiga biome or in extreme hills. And moving on, talking about the taiga no longer automatically has snow in it. And I will get to this later, but there are two versions of taigas now, one with snow and one without. And so that's interesting to see all those spruce trees in the taiga biome without snow on them. And the next one, the extreme hills biome, has also been modified, not just with the snow, but it now has a lot of more stone. I know there used to be like little outcroppings of stone here and there, but now it's like half stone on just at the surface, which is really interesting to me, but it also makes sense. So we're going to have a lot more stone, a lot more opportunities to see ore right away and all that stuff. Now the last big terrain change that I'm not 100% sure if it made it into the snapshot or not is that biomes will now be grouped in similar biomes will be matched together. For example, the taiga biome with the snow might be right next to an ice plains biome, and the desert will be far away from that because the desert is hot. You won't have deserts right next to snowy biomes like you used to. That always kind of confused me. Like, how is that possible? So now that's going to be there. Oceans are actually going to be shrunk a little bit. They're still going to be quite large, but they are going to be shrunk a little bit, separating these groupings of biomes. Now, I flew around a lot. It did seem like the biomes were grouped better. I don't know if they're finished with that. They do look better. I found a few deserts, and they were always in like islands by themselves, basically. I didn't really see any other biomes next to them, which is really interesting, because that'd be really weird to have deserts just like on an island, and that's the only place you can find them. Now, that is all the terrain changes I have. Let's go on to the new biome. Now, I will go over the few unconfirmed ones that I have not found yet in this one, but apparently are either going to make it or rumored are going to make it. Now, the first one here, and I'll try to put up pictures for all these. I'm not going to fly around and try to find them because that would take forever. Is the Disco Mountains, or the Mesa. I believe this is going to be in it. I'm not sure if it is yet, because I read a tweet of one of the Minecraft developers saying that he fixed a lot of the Mesa stuff. So I believe that's going to be in, and that seems to be going to use the hardened clay, the dyed stained hardened clay, and it's going to kind of look like a reddishy rock kind of color, clay kind of color, and I'll put a picture up if you can see it there. Hopefully, I've already done that. The next biome that is rumored to make it into is the Dark Forest, which is going to be a forest that is covered with leaves, and it's going to be so dark that mobs could even spawn in the daytime, and there won't be much sunlight here. And here's a rumored picture of it. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be very interesting. Now, the third and final, well, not the final, but the third rumored biome that's going to be in it that I haven't seen yet is the Redwood Forest, which is going to is rumored to hold tall, very, very tall trees, redwood trees, obviously, and that is also going to be a different kind of forest, and hopefully I'll have a picture of that as well. Now let's get on to the confirmed biomes that I have witnessed with my own two eyes in the snapshot. We're going to start with the one that's not really that much of a big deal, but which is still kind of cool, is the Birch Forest. This is a forest completely made up of birch trees. Now usually over here you see these trees, they're mostly oak, and there's a few scattered birch in between, but this forest will literally be covered with birch trees. So you can, if you are a fan of birch wood, there you can go. You can get that there. The next one is the Flower Forest, and this is what it sounds like. It is a forest with tons of flowers, a lot of these pretty flowers that you see right here, covering the floor. It's basically just, you can picture that in their head. I don't need to show you a picture of that. Now, the third one that I'm going to mention is really interesting. I found this really cool. Is the roofed forest. Now, this is a forest that is including. They have giant trees that have not giant trees. I should say thicker trees, slightly taller, and their leaves cover basically. They connect to each other kind of and block out the sky. Now, you may think maybe this is the dark forest that was rumored. I mean, it might be. But I did not see any mobs spawn there during the day, so I kind of doubt it. Though it is really interesting because there are giant mushrooms in these roofed forests. So no trying to find a mushroom biome or goddamn rain. Oops. Clear. So you don't have to go to a mushroom biome or use bone meal on your mushrooms during the night or whatever to grow them. They will be automatically spawning in these biomes. Number 4 is the stone beach biome. Now it's just like a regular, well, it's not really like a regular beach, it's a stone beach. What would usually be sand is now all stone, and it is kind of raised, kind of like cliffs on the ocean. So those are the stone beaches, which are really cool looking. And there's one not too far away, but I just don't really want to take up any more time exploring. Moving on to the next one, the next new one that I found is the Sunflower Plains. It is a plains obviously covered in sunflowers. Now I have a picture of this just because it looked pretty with the cow next to it, but you can probably already imagine what it'll look like. Moving on is the next one that's really interesting. Here I have a picture of it, is the Ice Plains Spikes. It's under its own biome, but it is very small inside of an Ice Plains biome. And these actually contain their own packed ice and regular ice, obviously. And there's obviously giant ice spikes coming out of the ground. So that one is really cool looking and all that stuff. The next one is the cold taiga. The cold taiga is the taiga with snow, as opposed to the taiga without snow. It's very self-explanatory. You don't need a picture because it's exactly what it looked like before. Now the next biome is the cold beach. It's another beach. It's basically a beach with snow all over it. So once again self-explanatory, and ice in the water. So that's obviously you don't need a picture as well because that's self-explanatory. Now the next one is a very, very, very interesting biome that has been rumored and excited. It's really exciting for me, at least, because I love lions and tigers. Well, not tigers. I almost showed my ignorance there by saying tigers lived in the savannah. And that is the new biome. It's the savanna biome, where all the lions and the antelopes and the cheetahs live, and the giraffes and the elephants, and I could keep going on, but you don't want me to hear me to talk about animals that aren't in the game yet. Hopefully we will get some lions or something in the savannah, but there are now just pigs and cows and chickens in there. So the savannah has the colored grass that you would find in the desert, as well as the leaves, and they have new trees that look like, I guess they're acacia trees? Is that what they're called? I don't know. Whatever. But they're really cool. It looks really cool. It's kind of like plains, dried out plains. One interesting fact, it does not rain in the savanna biome. It's like the desert. It does not rain. You can hear rain from a different biome. You can hear thunder, but there's actually no rain. Now the next biome goes with the savanna. It's the savanna plateau. It's basically just a raised bit of the savanna. It's kind of like forest hills to forest, or ice hills to ice plains, etc., etc. So it's not really that different from savanna, other than it's a higher elevation. Now, there's 2 more biomes that I have to go over, and one is actually right behind me. Now you may think, oh, it's just an ocean. Not necessarily. If I go over here, you'll see the biome change. There's an ocean, and I believe there it is, flashing in and out between the ocean is the deep ocean. Now the deep ocean goes a lot farther down, obviously, than the regular ocean, and you can see the hills over there going up as I keep going down. The deep ocean is indeed deep, and it goes down all the way down to about 30, and there's gravel covering the entire bottom of these things. So that is an interesting one. Interesting depth of an ocean. It doesn't normally go down that far. So now you have to be really careful if you're following an ender eye and it goes into the deep ocean all the way down to the bottom. Just be careful about not drowning, but now that we have the water breathing potions, it shouldn't be that hard. Now on to the last, but not least, new biome change is the jungle edge. Now, the jungle edge is what it sounds like. It's on the edge of jungle. But instead of being covered in jungle trees and bushes and stuff, it just has a few poking around here and there. And this is probably where you're most likely to find the normally spawning melons, since it's a lot easier to see than in the jungle. But it looks really cool. It's a little bit better than the jungle to traverse, since you don't have to climb over leaves and up trees and down trees and jump into pools of water from hundreds of blocks up. It's really cool. All these biomes are really cool. I've seen a lot. Hopefully we'll get some more. I haven't seen the rumored ones yet, so I'll keep looking. If I find it, hopefully I'll put it at the end of this video. But I haven't found it yet, and that's going to happen. Now, those are the biomes, and I kind of went over all the features earlier, but there's a couple that I didn't mention yet, and this music kind of reminded me of these features. They're in the options. We have new options. I accidentally took a screenshot. That's cool. So let's go to the options. You'll see it's a little bit different. There's no more sounds. There's no more sound or music over here. Sound of music. Yeah, good. Anyway, up here, there's the normal FOV and the difficult easy. But now here you see this one that's music and sounds. So you can go there and you can actually change not just the master volume, but you can individually the music. You can change the weather. No longer do we need rain and thunder to bother us. You can turn off jukebox and note blocks in the environment, anything like that. You can turn off different friendly animals and many monsters separately. And you can also change players and anything players do. So that is really interesting that they have this whole thing just to change these. Now obviously Dinnerbone and, well, the entire Mojang crew, being the trolls that they are, left this super secret settings option here. And of course you try to click on it and nothing happens no matter what you try to do, and that's kind of ticking people off. But here's another one cool. The resource packs. It's a little bit different now. You can actually change the order. You can actually stack resource packs one on top of the other, and this will kind of, if you have one resource pack that's adding sound, one resource pack that's adding, you know, just like pictures and stuff, you can just stack them on top of each other and it'll overwrite the one below it. But if the one below it obviously has stuff that the one above it doesn't have, it'll take that and it'll replace that. And it's a really cool way of mixing and matching your resource packs, and you can order them. Now it's rumored that you might be able to change your server list the same way. You can move it up now. I haven't tried it yet. I only have one server in my server list, so let's go try it real quick. I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's add a new server. Let's gonna just go like okay, that's cool. Now see, there really isn't any option yet, so, and you can't drag it, so I don't think this feature is in yet, but it may be. Some people have been asking for it for a while, and hopefully they'll be gracious enough to put it in eventually, but we do not have that yet. However, it was in the Reddit post with the changelog with a question mark. So it's not in yet, but I guess that might mean that they are going to put it in soon. So this has been the Minecraft Snapshot for 1.7 13W36A with all the pretty new flowers and the pretty new biomes and all the different cool features. There's a lot of stuff to take in right off the bat. And you can see there's not too much new items and stuff, but there is a lot of new stuff, and you're going to have to appreciate that and give your thanks to the Mojang crew and all the people who helped to work on it. As you saw there, the splash effect works on any kind of block, no matter what, even stone. Doesn't seem like that should work, but it does. Maybe they'll change that in the future. This is just a snapshot, by the way. So I urge you to go try this out, explore the land, go to the ends of the earth to try to find the new biomes. Maybe I missed a few that are going to be really rare. Maybe I missed a lot that are going to be really rare. Who knows? But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you had a fun video. Hopefully I put all those pictures in that I said I was going to put in, and hopefully maybe I'll find even more biomes and put them at the end of this video. So thanks for watching, guys. Give me a thumb in the up direction, and see you guys later.